Good evening and welcome to Studio 125. I'm Aaron Robinson.
And I'm MJ Baird. We start tonight with a developing story, the latest details on the Quinnipiac men's lacrosse team. The university fired head men's lacrosse coach Eric Feketa on Saturday.
Q30's lacrosse beat reporter Chris Dacey has more on the story.
Quinnipiac University has fired men's lacrosse head coach Eric Feketa effective immediately. This upcoming season would have been Feketa's 18th season on the Quinnipiac sidelines. This comes after the university temporarily suspended the team and launched an investigation into student code of conduct violations against its players in late September. Quinnipiac's Vice President for Public Affairs Quinnipiac University has fired men's lacrosse head coach Eric Feketa effective immediately. Quinnipiac University has fired men's
We apologize for those technical difficulties. Quinnipiac head coach Eric Feketa fired this past weekend. Quinnipiac assistant coach Mason Pauley has been named the interim head coach to fill Feketa's place. Now we have Chris Dacey, our men's lacrosse beat reporter, live in studio. Tell us a little bit more about this story. Chris, welcome to the show. You've covered this team now for the better part of about 2 years. So really take us through quickly what happened and then what was Feketa's importance to this program.
So yeah, MJ, about 2 weeks ago, the team was announced that they were the whole team was suspended for alleged violations of the student code of conduct. Nothing was known yet, and then on Saturday it was announced that there was the findings after a comprehensive review. There was they found violations of hazing and alcohol. So, and then another thing they announced is Coach Eric Feketa is no longer with the university. So Eric Feketa, this was going to be his 18th year, and now Quinnipiac won't even have fall ball, and like you said, Mason Pauley is going to be taking over as interim head coach. Feketa, like I said, 17 years, all-time winningest coach here at Quinnipiac. He's brought guys like Ryan Keenan, who was the first overall pick in the NLL draft, great player. And you have also current players like Jake Thompson and Foster Cuomo, great attackmen for this team. And then you have players like Jack Rust, who led them to their first tournament game and their first tournament bid under Eric Feketa in 2016. Feketa was also the MAC Coach of the Year in 2016 and 2018. So Feketa's had a pretty good career here at Quinnipiac, and after 17 years and after all this that has happened, they said goodbye to him, unfortunately.
So Chris, can you tell us a little bit about what this news means for the Quinnipiac men's lacrosse program moving forward?
Well, right now, obviously the loss of the head coach Eric Feketa is huge, but we'll see going forward. We might see the university did announce that were players that were suspended individually or received discipline. We just don't know who those players are at the moment. This also could open the door up now that these players have lost their head coach. Maybe some decide to transfer and look elsewhere to play. We have no idea, and maybe there will be a new coaching staff. Right now, Mason Pauley is the interim head coach. They have not named a head coach for the future. They might be looking for a new head coach, or some sources have said that, but we have no idea. There's no fall ball, like they said, so who knows how this team will be prepared in February, if they'll be prepared at all. Lacrosse is a very, very skilled, it takes a lot of skill to the sport, so it takes a lot of work in the off season. So without the fall ball, which is an integral part to a team's success, it will be interesting to see how Quinnipiac performs come February. And this investigation wasn't announced that it was over either, so there might be more to come out of it. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that.
Chris, you mentioned Mason Pauley. How does he fit in as the interim head coach of this team? Well,
MJ, he's been in the program for 5 years, or this will be his 5th year in the program. He's been the defensive coordinator. He's had he's played at Bryant University, has experience. He's also coached at many other universities in the country. And he's also responsible for scouting, skill development, recruiting, and academics. And like I said, he's the defensive coordinator. Now, if if I were to pick an area where this team needs to improve the most going into the next season, it would be the defense. So that's a little bit of a bright side for Quinnipiac. They have their 3 attackmen returning, which is Tomsick, Fletcher, and Cuomo, and they were excellent last year, but their defense was a little shaky, especially at the end of games. So this will help with the defense. They still have that familiarity with that coach if they decide to keep him for this year. So Mason Pauley does have that familiarity with the defense, and hopefully that maybe will keep some players from transferring, but we'll have to see with that.
So, Chris, what does this investigation do in terms of setting a precedent for the rest of the Quinnipiac community?
Well, I think it just shows to the rest of the athletic department and maybe other student organizations in general is the university is very serious about this and hazing, and they're not going to let up on anyone. They're going to show they really mean they don't tolerate hazing, and they showed why. They really laid the hammer down on the men's lacrosse team. As you saw, they fired their coach, and some players are receiving discipline, and it just sets a huge precedent going forward with all other situations like this, and it really will start to maybe for other teams and other organizations to take a look how they handle things outside of off the field, the court, whatever they may play on. So it's a big story. It's a big thing that happened here at Quinnipiac, and might set the precedent not only here but at other schools around the country, maybe in Connecticut, when it comes to hazing, especially with sports teams.
So as Chris mentioned, the story not over. You can follow him on social media for continued updates on this story. Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Switching gears now, the Quinnipiac women's soccer team entered this week unbeaten with an impressive 3-0-1 MAC record. St. Peter's came to Hampton on Wednesday for a midweek matchup. Our own Randy Del Valle has more.
New year, different result. The Quinnipiac women's soccer team lost to St. Peter's 1-0 on Wednesday, a game that Coach Dave Clark called a trap game.
This is the proverbial trap game for them, you know, where you have a good performance on the road and you do everything to get 3 points, and then you lose 1-0 because you don't do the little things well and the details. And we didn't take care of the details today.
Clark also wasn't happy with his team's effort in the game.
St. Peter's worked for it, they deserved it. Came with a game plan, stuck to it, got the goal, which is what they were playing for, and then we gave them something to defend. So that's the beauty of the game. But we didn't take care of the details. St. Peter's did. They shut us out. They won 1-0. They got the goal. Can't take it away from them.
The Bobcats weren't looking past St. Peter's. As Clark said, the team started preparing for them right after their win over Niagara. But the team didn't execute their game plan.
We did a whole session yesterday on playing speed of play, 2-touch in midfield, and then we didn't do it. We slowed the game down, which is what they wanted. So, you know, I always put it in academic terms. If I'm a professor and I teach and I tell you what's on the test tomorrow, and then you study something else and you fail the test, whose fault is that? It's not mine, because I've told you, I'm giving you the question, I'm giving you the answers. Here's the question, here's the answers. Just write it down tomorrow. And I'm teaching history, and they came in and submitted a geography test. That's why they lost.
And with their game against reigning MAC champions Monmouth approaching this weekend, the main goal was picking up 3 points.
You want to go there with 13 points and them having to beat us, and where we can take care of ourselves. It's when you lose a game, you bring yourself back into the pack. You know, so the goal was to win today. I mean, if you go into the board, I just said win 1-0, keep a clean sheet, and get 3 points. I don't care anything else.
After today's loss, Quinnipiac faces its toughest opponent of the year when they go on the road to face Monmouth on Saturday. Reporting from the soccer field, Randy Del Valle, Q30 Sports.
The Bobcats were in need of a huge response after their slip-up against St. Peter's. Quinnipiac took a trip down to West Long Branch, New Jersey on Saturday to take on their arch-rival, the Monmouth Hawks. Monmouth took a 2-goal lead into the half and later added 2 more before the Bobcats finally got on board in the 69th minute. The Hawks ended up taking this one 4-1.
After the 2 losses from the Bobcats this week, let's take a look at the updated MAC standings. Monmouth stays on top with Marist right behind them. Niagara and Quinnipiac are tied for 3rd with 10 points each. Quinnipiac, though, owns that head-to-head tiebreaker. Siena is in the 4th spot. Ryder and Manhattan are tied with each other in 5th.
We are now joined here in studio with women's soccer goalie Olivia Myszewski and Q30's own Connor Olithorn. Connor, take it away.
All right, guys, thanks so much. And I'm here with Olivia Myszewski. Olivia, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
It's great. Let's get right into it. All right, so how did you first get into goalkeeping? Like, was there a specific event that triggered?
Actually, my knee was injured, so I had to choose between either quitting all sports or doing the position that has the least amount of running, so I chose goalkeeping. I was goalkeeping beforehand. I was playing forward and goalkeeper, but then hurting my knee kind of decided the factor of playing goalie, and I loved it ever since.
You're looking great as a goalie. So now you've had a couple home games previously, St. Peter's, and then coming up you have Canisius. What does being home mean to you guys?
I think home to us is defending our territory and getting that W. I think that every game at home we should win. We have everything possible, the treatments, the fans, and everything else to help us win, and we just need to take advantage of that. It's our home, and we have to defend it, so that's what it means to us, I think.
You always like a home crowd, right?
Yeah, home crowd.
Now, big loss against St. Peter's, really tough. Were they a big surprise to you guys, or do you think they just got lucky?
I think it was a combination of both. I think in the beginning we came out very strong as a team. However, once we weren't able to finish that chance, I think our team just got frustrated. And then just a mental mistake on my part, and then people getting frustrated with themselves and the team, and then St. Peter's just compacting just led to overall just like a sucky loss. So I think that's what happened on Wednesday.
We're going to switch now to Monmouth, and obviously they're one of the best teams in the MAC right now. They're first in the division. How do you think you played against them?
I think I played pretty good, but the first goal was just a very unlucky, unfortunate goal. The second was just, I think, a bad touch on my part, and then the third and fourth goal was just the finishers, just placement of the Monmouth the Monmouth players. They're just so good at placement if you give them the time and space. But I think overall it could have been better, but I think it was just good overall.
All right, and just one last question. What are your hopes for the rest of the season?
I think our team still has the hopes of winning the MAC, but I think with the position we are now, we're hoping to get second and get that home field advantage in the quarterfinals. And our ultimate goal is to win the MAC championship, so these next few games we have to come out hard and strong and defeat the opponent we're playing.
All right, well, good luck against Canisius.
Thank you.
And best hopes for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Aaron, MJ, back to you guys.
Connor, thank you. The men's soccer team was also in action this week. The Bobcats had 2 matches, the first at St. Peter's and the second home versus Manhattan. The Bobcats took a trip to Jersey City on Wednesday for a bout with the St. Peter's Peacocks. The Bobcats drew first blood in this one, with the first goal coming just 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the match. Rayshawn Daly, Colton Grob, and of course, Eamon Whalen all found the back of the net in this one, and Quinnipiac was able to move to 2-0 in the MAC.
Aaron, you mentioned that the St. Peter's game wasn't their only game. They were at home against Manhattan as well. Let's have a look at some of that action. Take you right to the first half here. Free kick from Manhattan, the lefty strike, this one bending all the way towards net, but nice save there from Jared Mazzola, keeping this one scoreless. Later in the half, a corner kick for Manhattan now, nicely headed away from Connor McCoy. Bobcat defense holding strong, and the Bobcats offense in transition. Matt Taylor with a beautiful ball to Eamon Whalen. Good play by the Manhattan defender to knock that one away. We'll take it to the second half. Quinnipiac up 1-0 at this point. Rashawn Dolly takes a shot towards goal. This one blocked away again by Manhattan. Good defensive play. A little later in the half, Manhattan with a shot towards goal. Mazzola tips it over the net, making the save. The game tied at 1. We head to overtime. Simon Hillinger for Quinnipiac. The lefty strike into the box. This one looks like it has a chance to get Eamon Whalen in the head, but no, the goaltender gets him right in the chest. That's a collision. Good defense again for Manhattan. Now Rashawn Dolly working the give and go with Whalen. Daly's clear in the box, loses it, but following it up is Eamon Whalen for the goal. The Bobcats win in overtime. Final score 2-1, and a beautiful celebration from the Bobcats players.
Absolutely fantastic win for the Bobcats there versus Manhattan. Eamon Whalen has been on an absolute tear this season after battling through injury and missing time a season ago. Whalen scored a goal in both of the Bobcats games this week, including the overtime winner that we just saw. Whalen's 7 goals is the most in the MAC this season.
All right, Aaron, time to take a quick break here on Sports Paws.
Man, it's going by quick, man. Here, when we come back, Quinnipiac Field Hockey was in a nearly must-win game against Villanova.
Plus, Quinnipiac women's rugby going from first to worst. A halfway point update from the defending national champions.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Hamden. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
On Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Qcash is accepted.
now that's a sandwich.
Let's get it going. Sports Paws starts right now.
We start tonight with some basketball coverage.
And here again, Aaron Robinson hits the shot of his life. I don't know what that celebration is, MJ, but I'm loving it.
Is that Fortnite? Welcome back to Sports Paws.
Let's dive right into some rugby, where the three-time defending national champions had revenge on their mind as they took a trip to Cambridge, Mass. The rugby team was looking to dish out some payback for a 32-19 loss that Harvard handed Quinnipiac in the season opener. Allison Koenig opened up the scoring for the Bobcats with a try. After the conversion, the Bobcats took a 7-0 lead. Harvard then scored 24 unanswered points, but a valiant Quinnipiac comeback attempt came up just short as the Bobcats fell 24-21.
Aaron, let's jump over to some field hockey now. Quinnipiac looking to rebound from a pair of tough losses to UMass Lowell and Liberty. And this time they had a road game. It was against Villanova. We'll take you right out to the pitch. First half, scoreless game at this point. Under 4 minutes left to go in the half. Quinnipiac with a good opportunity to score on the penalty corner. Little give and go. Inez Ruiz Martinez, that shot saved though by Erica Miller. Game tied going into the second half. And Villanova, well, they strike first. It's the penalty corner. Abby Ciano with the shot that gets past Hannah Teicher, her third goal of the season, and Villanova leads 1-0. Later in the half, Villanova with a penalty shot. It's Lydia Sindor. She finds the netting, and that's her sixth of the season. 2-0 Villanova. Later in the half, Quinnipiac trying to get on the board, only down 2. This one's still in reach. Brooke Whitke nails that one home. That's her third goal of the season. Final, though, 2-1 Villanova. Quinnipiac had nothing else in the tank. From the field to the floor, the hardwood floor that is, the Quinnipiac volleyball team was looking to improve to 500 in MAC play with a win at Niagara. That is easier said than done, though, as Niagara got by Quinnipiac, winning 3-2. The Bobcats led 2-1 in this match. Again, not able to close the door. Morgan Sherwin had another good day for the Bobcats, tallying 23 kills. Maria Pansari with 60 assists on the day, and the Bobcats had a quick turnaround with Canisius the next day.
Absolutely, Quinnipiac was in need of a bounce-back win against Canisius, but unfortunately, things would not go as the Bobcats planned. Canisius dominated this one from the start all the way to the finish, winning 3 sets to nothing. Freshman Maggie Baker was the one bright spot as she led the team with 12 kills. We are now joined here in studio with volleyball's beat reporter Mike Dolan. Mike, how's it going?
It's going good, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Let's get right into it, man. So, Mike, who on this team needs to step up for the Bobcats to get on track?
Well, Aaron, the player that really needs to step up, in my opinion, is Gabby Horman. She only has 63 kills on the year, so offensively, she's really been kind of lacking for the Bobcats. Now, defensively, she's one of the best players, if not the best, on the team. She is such a good blocker, and she is such an asset in the middle of that court. But I think if her offense doesn't pick up, then I don't think the Bobcats are going to get to where they want to be at the end of the season.
Mike, Quinnipiac only 4 remaining road games and then 7 in a row at home to end the season. So of these 4 games that they're on the road, how many do you think they can realistically win?
Well, starting off, they're going to play Marist this Wednesday. Then they'll play Manhattan on Saturday, Iona on Sunday, then Siena next Wednesday. Now, Marist and Iona are 2 of the top 3 teams in the MAC, so I don't think the Bobcats will win either of those matches. However, Manhattan and Siena are the bottom 2 teams in the conference. And honestly, guys, I don't even think that either team will win a set against the Bobcats. I think the Bobcats are just going to straight up sweep them, and I would be shocked if either team took them to 5 sets. So I think they'll win 2 games over the 4-game road trip.
All right, Mike, so where do you see this team finishing in the MAC standings come the end of the season?
Well, Aaron, the Bobcats have 11 more matches to go in the season, and realistically, I think the Bobcats will win 5 of those 11 matches. So at the end of the year, they would be 7-11 in conference play. Now, last year, Siena finished with that same record, and they finished 8th in the conference. So I think that's where the Bobcats will finish. I think they'll finish in 8th in the MAC.
Mike, all volleyball teams heading down to Disney for the MAC tournament this year, so 8th would put the Bobcats in a decent seed. Anyway, moving on, Kat Miller, a senior hitter for this team, recently notched 1,000 career digs. Now she's approaching 1,000 career kills. So I guess I ask you, can she reach this number?
Well, MJ, I had to break out my handy-dandy calculator for this one. Kat Miller is 147 kills shy of 1,000 for her career. Now, she's been averaging over 10 kills a match coming into this week, and in order for her to reach 1,000, she'd have to average over 13 kills. So it's a little bit of a long shot, but honestly, I think she can do it because she's a senior. She's going to want to leave it all out on the court.
Thank you so much, Mike. Unfortunately, it's time for another break.
Coming up on Sports Paws, the #1 play in Quinnipiac athletics is a good one. You won't want to miss it.
Plus, hockey is back in Hamden. The women's and men's ice hockey team are in action, and the women specifically are looking to get their first win against Maine. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, and tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired, and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
Come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Qcash is accepted.
now that's a sandwich.
If you like debate, that's a converted relief pitcher making the start because it was a doubleheader. You got no hit by a relief pitcher. You can't tell me that's not embarrassing.
Analysis.
You can see his stance, his positioning right there is excellent.
And a side of entertainment.
Is he right or is he crazy?
Well, we all know the answer to that. He's a bit crazy, but I gotta say, you know.
Then join us on Bobcat Breakdown.
From the court to the ice to here on the diamond, we'll discuss everything you need to know about Quinnipiac athletics.
Bobcat Breakdown, Tuesdays at 9:30.
4.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. It's that time of year again. The Zambonis are back, and both hockey teams were in action this weekend. They say ladies first, so let's see how the women's ice hockey team fared this weekend.
We'll head to Quinnipiac versus Maine, Game 2. Aaron, take it away.
Yes, sir. Here we got it. Quinnipiac and Maine are splitting goaltenders. We have Allison Smalls in goal for this one. You see her getting some warm-up practice before the game. We'll take you to the second period here. Maine's Liga Million is going to pick up a loose puck in front of the Quinnipiac net. She's going to spin, she's going to shoot, and she's going to score to put the Maine Black Bears up 1-0. Now we're going to the third period, and we see Maine on the attack again. Teresa Banisova uses her speed and a nifty move here in the neutral zone. She's going to get Smalls one-on-one, and she's going to beat her glove side to put the Black Bears up 2-0. We're going to keep it here into the third period. A little later, a routine dump was supposed to happen, but not so fast as the goal sneaks past the goal line, and Maine is going to take this one 3-0. Quinnipiac struggles to get their first win on the year, but we'll see what happens moving forward.
That's right. They have University of Vermont this upcoming weekend. Now for the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team, Rand Pecknold's squad is looking to bounce back after 2 subpar seasons.
As you can see here, the Bobcats have been on a downward trend a little bit ever since that magical season a few years back in 2015-2016. That season saw the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team make a run all the way to the national championship game where they came up just short. Last season, however, the Bobcats had a losing record for the first time since the 2008-2009 season.
As for the Bobcats game this past weekend against the University of Prince Edward Island, Quinnipiac won 5-2, 5 different goal scorers in the game, including a 3-point game from senior Scott Davidson.
Both the men's and women's cross-country teams were in action this weekend at the New England Championships. The women's cross-country team took 3rd overall at the event, their highest finish at the New England Championships since 2015. The men, on the other hand, also had a solid showing, placing 7th out of 26 teams, and Tommy Consalvo placed 13th in the men's varsity 8K to lead the Bobcats.
Quinnipiac women's golf honored its seniors at the Yale Women's Fall Invitational this weekend. The Bobcats celebrated Julia Kembling and Luciana Tobia, both senior captains, for their contributions to the team. Kembling is graduating in December, and this marked her final event in a Bobcat uniform. She shot 75 in the final round and finished the event in 37th place. Quinnipiac finished 10th as a team.
The Quinnipiac women's tennis team continued its winning ways this weekend. The Bobcats swept Ryder 7-0 to pick up a MAC win before dominating Sacred Heart later 6-1 later on in the day. With the win, the Bobcats moved to 2-0 on the year.
Quinnipiac men's tennis hosted Ryder this weekend. The Bobcats swept the Bronx 7-0, the 6th straight year Quinnipiac has done so. Utter dominance for Quinnipiac over Ryder. Quinnipiac won all but one match in straight sets. All right, Aaron, let's throw it up to Lender Court. Quinnipiac men's basketball, you guys are playing Villanova only 33 days away, but media days are underway. Our own Brian Schwartz up at media day today.
Week 2 of practice is underway at Quinnipiac, and the Bobcats have a few new faces here on the court. One of them is Savion Lewis, a new freshman from Long Island.
Coach Bacora, out from Long Island, he recruited me from my AAU team, New York Jayhawks, and ever since then he's been in touch with me all summer, going into my high school year. And, you know, they showed a lot of love, and then I was in contact with the head coach, Coach Dunleavy, and Coach Morris, and Coach G. And ever since then, it's just been a great relationship.
We're going to be a program that hopes to pride itself on recruiting somewhat regionally and really taking care of our backyard. And New York certainly is a part of that. And Savion had obviously a good reputation as a great player in New York. We wanted to continue to bring in backcourt depth, and he played at a great high school program, but also AAU program, and just kind of separated himself from other prospects.
Mr. Basketball in the state of New York last year looks to bring some explosiveness to this Bobcats team this year.
He gets where he wants to go with the ball on the floor. He's just got great athleticism, great speed, and he plays hard. And so not only can he do that with the ball, but then when the ball's also not in his hands, he's got to learn how to use that speed and that explosiveness.
I feel like I'm always in attack mode, but I'm disciplined as well, so I guess like the change of speeds and being able to turn on and off is very good.
Lewis, one of 6 incoming freshmen for the Bobcats, will look to make an impact immediately as Quinnipiac opens up their season November 10th at Villanova. From the People's United Center, Brian Schwartz, Q30 Sports.
All right, the time you've all been waiting for. It's top 5 plays of the week. The best plays around Quinnipiac athletics start right now.
Let's do it.
All right, Aaron, you start us off with number 5.
We're taking you right to number 5, field hockey's at Villanova, and Quinnipiac's own Brooke Whipkey is going to take this one, and she's going to absolutely fire this one into the cage for the Bobcats' only goal of this one. And Villanova will go on to win 2-1. Now, number 4, MJ.
Weekend series against Maine, some women's hockey action. Sarah Ev Kutu-Godbout throws one towards net, but look at that tip from Lexi Adzija. That's her first career goal.
Number 3, this one goes quick, so watch closely. We got a cross into the box, and this one hits the back of the twine. Mom is going to get a goal there.
All right, play number 2, back to women's hockey. Teresa Vanisova, hello, nice move there. And uses her speed shields. One defender beats Allison Small. Nifty finish there for the Maine Black Bear.
And the top play of the week, here we go to men's soccer. Rayshawn Daly is on the attack. He's getting past, I'm going to jump over you guys. Shoot it, it gets blocked, and Eamon Whalen finds the back of the net for the winner. And watch the Selly, yes, there we go. Quinnipiac would win that one in overtime, 2-1 over Manhattan.
I'd love to be part of a team where I could just jump on everyone. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It really does, unless you're on the bottom, MJ.
Yeah, I get crushed. That's all the time we have tonight on Sports Paws. You can catch all our content, past, present, and future, on social media at Q30 Sports.
Thanks for tuning in. For MJ Baird, I'm Aaron Robinson. Have a good night.